Hey, welcome. I'm going to try to attempt to put in some tokens, or at least one, into my Shox Deluxe Select Plus on my new Guerrilla Gravity Smash. I noticed that the sag was set correctly, but I'm bottoming out, so I did read up and there's definitely opportunities to have to use tokens. So tokens, from what I can understand, lessens the amount of volume in the shock so that it doesn't compress as much on the bottom end. So I'm looking at the instructions through SRAM's service manual. So that's kind of how I'm going to do this. See how it turns out, and hopefully this helps, and we'll go from there. All right. What they first tell you to do is to take your rebound and turn it counterclockwise to the lowest setting. So I've counted how many clicks it took, which in this case I only had it set for one click. And then they indicate depressurizing the shock. They give advice, which I've done before, on utilizing a Allen wrench to depress it. So get one that actually fits. Yep, so that reduced my shock. So after depressurizing the shock, your rear will be brought up. I believe the next step would be to do is to unbolt your support. And then if you can see down here, this is just what I'm doing. No one told me to do this, but I'm going to support the rear end with that. So when I undo these, this should stay, and I don't start pivoting. Hopefully I don't pivot too much further, which I think I will. So I'll have to be mindful of that to see how much the bike sags into the frame. So keep an eye on it. Here. I've already taken this bolt out once because I did my flip chip. I put it into plush mode after it was in the crush mode to test that out. You see how this is going to go. So this is definitely going to carry, I believe. Alright, this is loosened up enough to pull out, I believe. Take my time. Alright, so that's good. That's gonna come out on the other side. You can see that. Yep. Okay. And in the front, hey babe. Me? Always. Yep, there's genuine love there from my daughter. All honesty, she's one of my best friends. Alright, just so you can see also, I actually put a bucket under the front wheel as well, and I have my support stick in place so the steering column and the cockpit doesn't turn. So that seems to be helping quite a bit. So I've got the shock loosened in front as well. Let's see if these pull out. Beautiful. Alright, so they indicate to position the shock horizontal. I've got some pieces here that I'm going to use to protect the eyelet. So I'm going to use what I have, which should work well enough. And just snug, because you're going to basically be unscrewing this from the chamber. Did that, take the O-ring off. Is the sag indicator. They indicate to insert a shop towel through the damper body eyelet, which is down in here. All right, well, instead of using a shop rag for now, I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna drape. So I've just put an long Allen key in there, and I'm just gonna drape this over it. So if it does push, it won't do any damage. Then you're gonna use a strap wrench to remove the air can. So wrap the strap around the section of the air can furthest from the shaft eyelet. Turn the wrench counterclockwise to unthread the air can. Get this in here. So the tool that I'm using is, this is basically a plumber's pipe strap that I bought for 10 bucks at Lowe's, and it should work. So there you go. So slow, I just did it slow. I've gotten it loosened up, as you saw before. I'm going to put the rag over here and hold this. And then I'm going to slowly keep the eyelet in its place and just unscrew this. And the goal is that we're not changing into the seal. Shouldn't have to re-grease anything. Be mindful of all that. There it goes. See, now when I did that, it slowly just dropped down. Okay, so I'm gonna go get my bottomless tokens. Down in here, there's this support plate and there's an O-ring there. I'm gonna be lifting those out of the way. This one, and then this. Well, I'm off trying to figure this out, so this looks like in the pictures that they show that this goes over and you press it down. Mine are, there they go. So the tab, this tab here, is supposed to go on the side where the port is. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm pushing that in there. And pushing it all the way down. So I'm assuming one's not going to be enough. And these things are pretty hard to press in, so don't be too nervous about pushing it down. So the way it's described is move the bottom out washer, which is what I just moved. There we go. So that's the bottom out washer. It goes down. Bring this guy down. Yeah, and when I press this, these will probably seat themselves. And again, all those tokens are doing is reducing the air volume that you have left inside the chamber. Okay, I'll just slowly screw this back on. Something to keep in mind during this part is to make sure that O-ring doesn't get pinched. Alright, that's good. Change that back there. We'll do the opposite direction on the... So, for 10 bucks it worked out great actually. There we go. Okay. I'm actually going to install the back one first. That way I can compress it, because obviously there's enough natural resistance with the way the shock is set without air. We'll just get this going, not totally snug. I'll set the torque in a second. I put the rear bolt in first so that I can try to compress this back into place as I'm putting it into the eyelet. That wasn't too bad. To put that in a little bit smoother and easier, but I feel pretty good that that went in okay. All right, so I asked Siri to tell me how many inch pounds is in 10 Newton meters, and she says 88 is the magical number. All right, let's put some air in here. Take my lovely rear support out. So I'll get that 125 in here. At this stage, try to cycle this shock every 50 pounds to pressurize the positive and negative chambers. I'll set my one click back in place, my rebound. All right, looks like I'm done. Set my sag. So I think I'm good. I'm happy. All right, so there you have it. Finished up on that rear shock, putting those tokens in. Hopefully this helps. I'm a novice. I'm a bike mechanic. I work on lots of things, cars, but novice at all of it, really. So with the instructions from SRAM, seems pretty easy, straightforward. The concept of it all seems pretty straightforward, so that made it easy. I understood what tokens are really trying to do. So as you kind of get in there, demystifies some concerns that I might have even had. So as always, thanks for tagging along. See you on the trail.